So today we're at the Hampton Hall Club for the annual Realtors Breakfast. This is where they wine us and dine us and tell us all the incredible things about this amazing neighborhood. And I'm taking you along for the ride so you can learn everything about the Hampton Hall Club. So don't go anywhere. We're getting started right now. Do you want to know everything there is to know about the South Carolina Lowcountry, whether it's Bluffton, Beaufort, Hilton Head Island, or Jasper County? Then subscribe below and tap that bell for notifications so you'll be the first to know about everything happening here. My name is David Simcox, host of this channel and a local realtor. I get calls and emails every day from people just like you looking to make their move here, and I absolutely love it. So whether you're moving in 3 days, 3 months, or even 3 years, give me a call, send me an email, shoot me a text, or you can even book a Zoom call, all in the description below, so I can help you find your Lowcountry lifestyle. Now today we're at the Hampton Hall Club, one of the premier golf course communities here in the Bluffton market, and we're at the annual Realtor Breakfast. This is where they wine us, dine us, and tell us all the great things about their community. And I'm taking you along for the ride so you can learn everything there is to know about this amazing community. So without further ado, let's jump right into it.
To stand in front of the screen the whole time. I'm the General Manager, Chief Operating Officer at Hampton Hall Club. It is my privilege to welcome you all here. Before we get started, just a couple notes that I kind of put together here. So first off, I applaud everyone in this room. This has got to be the most respectful group I have ever seen, and I say that because with everybody here, probably almost everybody drove separately. There's all cars in the parking lot, right? And you all probably looped the parking lot a few different times. You're looking for that great spot, right? And the best spot, one of the best spots that we have in the house is the employee of the quarter. And that spot is still open. So congratulations to you all. You all deserve a round of applause for being so respectful. I really appreciate that. And we'll talk a little bit about that in the presentation. One of the things that I feel really makes Hampton Hall so special is the people. Obviously, Christy, who's here, Brett, who you're going to hear from, Beth, our Director of Operations, and it goes all the way down. It trickles all the way down to our dishwashers, our landscapers. I mean, it's a really special team here. What we're going to talk about today, what I'm going to cover, some residential facts. We're going to talk a little bit about the amenities, membership snapshot, financial snapshot, and then talk about something really attractive, which is the master amenities plan, which I'm sure many of you have heard about. Many of you have toured through Hampton Hall Club. You've seen some of the renderings, the concepts that are around. So I'm going to touch on those, talk a little bit about what those concepts look like, what the future of the amenities look like at Hampton Hall Club, because that's really exciting. And again, as I see you all touring Hampton Hall Club, as I see Christy with prospect members and new members, I tell you, when you walk past those renderings, if they don't stop immediately, they walk by and, oh my gosh, what was that, right? So we'll talk a little bit about that. And my goal today is that everybody here, no matter how well you know Hampton Hall, maybe some of you even live in Hampton Hall, the goal is that you take something away positive that you can share with your clients, just a good takeaway. And also, I'm going to keep it a little light this morning too. I told Kristen, I said, we got a great turnout with all these amazing realtors of the Lowcountry. And when I took a speaking class in Toastmasters, I don't know if any of you are familiar with Toastmasters, I see a lot of head nodding. One of the things that they said to start a presentation is either with a really fascinating data point or a really cool fact, maybe a joke. And so I worked hard on finding some jokes that have to do a little bit with real estate. So again, try to keep it a little light this morning. When I told Christy that, she said, that's a great idea. And then I told her the jokes and she said, you know what, never mind, don't tell her. So we'll let you be the judge. I told my wife from last night too, and she had the same effect. She's like, that's such a smart idea to start off with some jokes. And then I told her, she's like, Yeah, never mind. Maybe those aren't so good. So we'll see. But I got 3 short jokes. They're very much dad jokes, if you will. I'm a fairly new father. Our daughter is turning 2 years old in April, so I'm still working on my dad jokes. So anybody who wants to give me some counsel, I'm all ears. All right, without further ado, if you ever feel like no one cares, miss a mortgage payment. Okay, a couple chuckles. All right, why was the realtor in counseling? Why was the realtor in counseling?
Why not?
Here's some guesses. Because they couldn't get closure. A little more than that one. All right, I saved the best for last. Any Forrest Gump fans in here? Forrest Gump? Haven't seen the movie before? Okay. If Forrest Gump ran a property management group, what would it be called? If Forrest Gump ran a property management group, what would it be called? New Tenant Dan. That's all I got. That's all I got. Thank you. Now let's get into the interview today. Again, to really start off, it's a really exciting and a privilege to be able to speak about some of the accolades that we've received recently, and then one that is really hot off the press too. So let's talk about some of these. Audubon International Certified and Cooperative Sanctuary for Golf. We're very proud of that. 100 Best Places to Live, Ideal Living Magazine, consistently having that accolade year over year. Very exciting there. The official Community Choice Awards through Best of Bluffton. That's really exciting for us too. Having coming in with either first place or honorable mention when it comes to event space, neighborhood gated community. Recently, the Post and Courier just started Beaufort County's best, and so it's my understanding, I believe we just started that last year, if I'm not mistaken, and we placed first. This was really impressive for us. We placed first for a private golf course, so that was really neat for Hampton Hall Club. And then we came runner-up for best neighborhood and best gated community. So really impressive accolades there. And then the hottest off the press is distinguished clubs. Just by a show of hands, I'm just curious, is anyone familiar with that accolade, distinguished clubs? I'm going to talk a little bit about distinguished clubs. So what does distinguished clubs mean? It is the only merit-based designation within the private club, private community industry. So merit-based, so let's talk about the process real quick. So it starts with a nomination. This comes from a fellow club. It's unknown to us, but it's nominated from a fellow club that is a distinguished club. So some of the clubs that have this accolade, Long Cove, Colleton, Berkeley, Belfair, one of them was kind enough to give us a nomination and said, you know what, Hampton Hall is really executing at that level, the member experience is really strong, the reputation in the area is really strong for Hampton Hall Club. So we get a nomination, great, but that doesn't mean the plaque's in the mail. The next step is a reputation test. Then they call the advisory group of distinguished clubs, a very esteemed group, they call other clubs in the area and they say, you know, what do you think about Hampton Hall Club? Right, they're making sure that no one's paying off someone to get a nomination, right? There's a true check behind it. And then after that, before they spend any time coming out to the club, they check all that, and then they physically come out to the club, and they literally have a checklist that they go through, and they inspect your facilities. And not just the facilities, but they want to know more about the services, they want to know about the programs, they really want to know about the procedures, they want to know about the financials of the club. They're looking at all different angles of the club. So after the site inspection, then we get into the in-person interviews where they're interviewing our department heads in depth about the different areas of the club and making sure that we're practicing excellence in all the different departments and all the different areas. Then from there, it's not over yet. Then from there, they dig into our membership data. They dig into our membership surveys. They want to know that we have a strong NPS, a strong Net Promoter Score. Are our members proud of the club? Are they willing to recommend the club to guests, to friends, and so forth? And that's an important part of it as well. And so they check that. And again, all this is verified, is merit-based, and then once all that's said and done, then it goes to the advisory group and they have a formal vote of, is Hampton Hall living up to these standards, and are they meeting the criteria? And the answer for us was yes. And that was really exciting. And what's really cool about this too is it will never exceed the top 4% of private clubs and communities globally. So we are within now the top 4% of all clubs and communities within the globe. So that's really impressive and just a really nice accolade. So I would ask to me, as a general manager, I really feel like, yes, it's great that we have nice things. It's great that we have beautiful facilities. We're forward thinking. You'll see that with the master amenities plan. We'll talk about the financial snapshot, about reserves, stormwater management, making sure that we have proper funding there. We take care of our assets. We're forward thinking. But again, at the end of the day, all that means nothing if you don't have the right people running it. Right? If you don't have the right leadership team, if you don't have the right staff here, and I'm so proud of when we have our membership surveys, consistently what comes in as one of the highest marked items is the staff. And so that says a lot about Hampton Hall Club and the experience and the dedication from the team to deliver that member experience every day. So let's talk a little bit about residential facts. 1,100 acre private residential community, 944 total lots, which includes 105 carriage homes, 29 cottages. We have 9 homes that are currently under construction, 910 homes currently built, so we're pretty built out there. 67 closings in 2024. Little note on there for those of you who didn't bring the spectacles, for governing documents and master map, those are available for your clients on the real estate section of our website. So if you want to take a snap of that, that's fine. If not, you're always welcome to grab one of us after as well. Full service amenities. So when I describe what our amenities look like to potential members, to new members, the best way for me to categorize it, I look at it in 3 different areas here. So we have our main clubhouse, which is where we all are right now. Some main points about the main clubhouse: it overlooks that beautiful 20-acre lake and the fountain behind us. It's a great venue, event venue. I think we're showing that right now. It opens up, so it is one of the largest spaces in our area for accommodating different events. And we love packing this clubhouse with our members for different events, whether it be murder mystery. We're doing passport dining right now. Most recently, we did a trip to Spain, where you don't have to leave, right? You come right here and your experience in Spain. And we're always looking for those ways to, again, member experience, right? It's one thing to have the buffet, it's centered on Spain, maybe there's some decorations, cool. We're always looking for that. How do we make it a really memorable experience? Well, we contacted a group on the island, a dancing studio, and we brought out about 30 salsa dancers. We were just doing salsa dancing throughout the entire night. And again, we're looking to stimulate all the senses of our members to really create those memorable moments. And this clubhouse really hits that event space. Also, I describe this clubhouse as the dinner hub as well. So Wednesday through Saturday night, Chef John, Chef Jim, the team, putting on daily specials, having a great menu that changes quarterly. A lot of great activity over here. Thursday nights, we have happy hour every Thursday night that has live music. It's just a really fun social hub over here. The golf clubhouse. I normally don't actually call it the golf clubhouse. What I'll usually refer to is more specifically, are we talking about Pete's Grill or are we talking about the golf shop? And the reason I intentionally do that is because when you join Hampton Hall Club, right, when you move here, you have the option of either becoming a golf member or a social member. But Pete's Grill is a place for everybody. It's for all members. Again, it's the lunch hub. So I like referring to it as Pete's Grill versus Golf Clubhouse for that reason. Pete's Grill is the lunch hub. Again, it's open from Tuesday through Sunday. Great lunch specials over there. If you haven't tried the soups, when you're with your clients, you've got to try the soups, you've got to try the pizzas over there, especially the sheep crab soup. It's one of the staples over here, so you've got to try that one out, especially if you're a sheep crab soup fan. We did recently do some work over there, so when you go over there, if you haven't been there in a while, you're going to be like, wow, is this the same Pete's Grill? Is this the same clubhouse? The carpet has been refreshed, the painting has been refreshed. We added a billiards room over there, and you'll see the common theme with the master amenities plan is utilizing underutilized spaces. That's something we did at Pete's Grill too, because if you recall, there was a pretty large locker room over in that clubhouse. Well, being in an HOA, most of those lockers weren't being used. The majority. Brent may be able to say how many. I think you could count on one hand, because what a great convenience to just be able to go home, right? So a lot of underutilized space there, so we removed some of those lockers and we made a beautiful billiards room over there. So again, when you walk it through, you'll see that, and recently we finished over there. The health and fitness center. So again, as I talk about the three areas, we talk about Pete's Grill, the golf clubhouse, this clubhouse, the main clubhouse, and then the fitness and wellness center, which also is aquatics and sports courts. So 25-meter indoor black pool and spa. That's a nice draw point, I think, when clients are coming through here. They love to see that. There's a lot of activities that take place in that indoor pool too, whether it be water aerobics, swim lessons for the kiddos, for the grandkiddos. We see a lot of activity over there, or even just reserving lap lanes. We do allow the lap lanes to be reserved. We also have masseuse who's on staff as well, who's full-time. She's always very busy. And then Michelle DiCarlo, if you haven't met her, when you walk through the fitness center, she's like a good one to keep an eye out for. She's amazing. She's always coming up with different creative ideas with programming, wellness speakers, nutrition programming. We did the 28-day challenge in January, where combined members, was about 24 members or so, joined this 28-day challenge, fitness and wellness, and they lost combined over 250 pounds. It's like a whole thing just disappeared. It's pretty impressive. Michelle, when you see her over there, just a great one to be on the lookout for. On that note too, Paul, who's our director of sports courts, he's been here for a while. I'm sure many of you are familiar with him. He just recently hired a key position at Hampton Hall Club, and that's our head pickleball professional. So we have a head pickleball professional who's full-time here too. His name is Will Briscoe, doing a phenomenal job. We have quarterly socials now in coordination with all the league play that we have going on too. Really nice to have those, again, as we talk about the people that make all this happen. That's the way I think about those three main areas. So again, Will Briscoe, Paul, the bocce courts. I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about those. Those bocce courts are hand watered every single day. They are immaculate. I mean, really impressive for those who like to play bocce. And when you show your clients around, I learned the most important rule in bocce is you have the ball you roll in one hand, and in the other hand, anybody know what you're supposed to have? A drink. Okay, a lot of bocce players in here. Interesting. The snack bar and the grill, we have the Splash Café that's over there. That's open seasonally. It's 3 months out of the year. We really gravitated to that pool service as the weather starts getting nice here, which hopefully that's going to be soon here. Saw a lot of jackets coming in here this morning. We're looking forward to that. The children's playground, and we'll get into this with the financial snapshot, but when it comes to the details of those little amenities, right? The playground, making sure that that is well kept, nice for those younger families, and also the basketball court. I would encourage everybody to take a peek at it. I know a basketball court, right? Why? Well, we just got it resurfaced, and it really pops out there too. And again, it's you bring a kid by that basketball court, they're like, that is awesome. So a neat amenity of there. 6.5 miles of biking and walking trails. There's no shortage of activity in Hampton Hall Club. You see it all throughout the day. The private golf club, Brent, our director of golf, is going to speak much more about the private golf club, but beautiful P.I. signature golf course, recently restored, some great accolades there that Brent will talk about more. High quality private golf experience, optional for owners. Again, I think that's a huge point, that golf is optional for members, especially if they're coming here, they're buying their forever home, knowing that there's an option to opt out of it at some point, I think is something that we hear a lot of positive about. The different membership categories, again, I know Kristen will probably take a little bit more into that, but for residents, non-property owners, golfers under the age of 40, really trying to have something for everybody there. My favorite thing about the golf course is when members leave for a week or so to go on a trip somewhere, and And when they come back and say, and usually it's right to Brent, I missed it here. Gosh, and for whatever reason, a lot of times we hear about the greens condition, we hear about just the camaraderie and socialness of the golf club. The golf club, you know, I read about Golf Digest talking about curious golfers. Our golf course here is great because it caters to so many individuals. It's not just for those advanced players. I would say we probably have more lady players here than any other community. I mean, it's pretty impressive. I love seeing Brian with the kiddos, doing different things with First Tee and so forth. So, again, I just love the fact that our members love the golf course so much. And even if you're a social member, still getting to enjoy the course 6 times a year as well. So, nice benefit there as well. All right, financial snapshot. This is the real exciting stuff. Everybody wake up for this one. Debt-free with healthy cash reserves, 6.65 dues increase for 2025. We have a zero-based budget, so we build that new every single year, making sure that the members are getting the experience that they deserve. Member-owned and governed club. The way that I look at private clubs when it comes to financials is 3 buckets. Okay, you have your operations, which is fueled by the membership dues. You have the reserves, which is fueled by, it should be fueled by a reserve study, a professional reserve study. And essentially tells you on a reserve schedule, we have a huge 30-year reserve schedule that says, okay, this asset likely will need to be replaced this year. And our professionals, our department heads look at that every year or two and say, no, that HVAC unit's going pretty darn good. You know, I would say let's push that out another year or two. Hey, the playground, it's looking pretty rough and it says that it needs to be replaced next year. We need to do that this year. So again, having that strong reserve study, but giving the professionals the ability to do their job too and say when different assets should be replaced as well, really makes it healthy from a funding standpoint because the dues, you'll see that a lot of clubs have capital dues, we have reserve dues. Our reserves fully fund, our reserve dues fully fund that 30-year study. And whenever we get new assets, we put that into the reserve study as well. And when we replace an asset, such as resurfacing the basketball court, that then goes on the schedule in X amount of years. So very healthy from that standpoint. And then last but not least, the third bucket is capital, aspirational capital. When we talk about the master amenities plan, this funds new stuff. This funds different stuff. This funds full master amenities plan concepts, transforming a clubhouse. So one other piece on that, every year we have some of the top industry consultants come to Hampton Hall Club for board orientation. And so they talk to our new board members, they get them nice and oriented, nice reminders for the past board members, talking about governance, financials, legal, all that kind of stuff. And what we also do to take it a step further is we take those same consultants, those same industry consultants, and they actually give an orientation for all of our committee members, all of our advisory group members, which that's in the hundreds. So they all get that benefit. And when they come out here, they consistently say, Hampton Hall is one of the healthiest financial clubs that we have ever seen. It is really impressive. So it speaks to those points that I was just speaking to, but it's nice to have that accolade as well. Membership snapshot, average age of new members, mid-50s. 27% of new members have children under the age of 23. And there's no age limit on the swing set that's out at the playground. I've seen 80, 90, and then 100-year-olds who love that swing set. But again, you know, making sure that we have programming, amenity, services that speak to all the different age groups at Hampton Hall Club. Over 100 members have children under the age of 23. Average age of membership, we're in the low 60s. Nearly 80% consider Hampton Hall their primary residence. So I think that's an interesting point as well when prospective members are coming here looking for an active community, looking for a full event schedule, something that's going to keep you busy all year round and really just get to enjoy life. This is the place. Some pictures of the team. I see the turkey trot up there. Again, just our members in action. Enjoying the club, enjoying the different events, enjoying the different activities and services we offer at Hampton Hall Club. So let's, and I'm sorry, to go back to the financial too, when I was talking about the reserves, one of the questions that's come up from a few realtors as well has been stormwater management. That is part of our reserves. So the way we look at stormwater management, because I know that can be an elephant in the room for any community, but when we look at stormwater management, we really look at three components of it. We look at the ongoing maintenance that never ends. This is clearing out culverts, establishing ditches, making sure that everything's working functionally, and that we're taking care of vegetation to the best of our ability to, working with our vendors on that. The second component is we have various reserve projects taking place in getting our stormwater system to the original build. What that looks like is some pipe jetting. We have a retaining wall that's being, a section's being replaced right now, repaired. Again, very intentional, making sure that we're taking care of our assets. So there's a lot of that takes place. And then the third component of stormwater management is the above and beyond. Our stormwater system being built to a certain capability, we want to look at having that even increased in capability as well. So the board, I actually just came from a board meeting literally 45 minutes ago, and the board just approved 2 items. So this is like super hot off the press. One was to look at, to further investigate what it looks like to be above and beyond in stormwater management, so we can really be as capable as possible when it comes to that. And then the second one, another very important community initiative, is the Master Amenities Plan. And it is my honor to be able to say that the board, with a very strong majority vote, 6 out of 7, voted to go into schematic design now for the Master Amenities Plan. So that's a huge step in the right direction. That sets us up to get to a vote towards the end of this year for the membership to be able to vote on what they want to do when it comes to these different phases. Which one do you want to do first? What does that look like? So really exciting times at Hampton Hall Club. So I'm gonna be quiet here in just a minute. I want to talk a little bit about the Master Amenities Plan. So the main clubhouse, again, we talk about utilizing underutilized spaces. And if I'm in anyone's way, just tell me, get out of the way here. When you look at this picture, this rendering, that is of what is immediately behind these doors right here. So our brasserie, and then the lanai, which is currently unconditioned space. It's that nice screened-in area, but it's not conditioned. Being in the Lowcountry, that's tough to have unconditioned space that we want to utilize. So we want to, the goal is to transform that area to look like this and be the social hub of this clubhouse. Casual, friendly, that gathering spot for the membership, both kids, families, and then still having intimate areas too where you can have required dining experience if you're celebrating an anniversary or a birthday or something to that extent. So really exciting there. And then another major component of this Master Amenities Plan for this clubhouse is the kitchen. This kitchen has not been touched since day one, and the needs from day one and the needs that we have today are much different. We need to invest in that area, and it's really amazing how much support the membership have given on that. We did a series of open houses for all the concepts, and this clubhouse had over 67% support in doing that. And in communities, those kinds of numbers are really positive. So we're really excited about that. So again, just speaks to that. These renderings are also in each one of the clubhouses too for the applicable area. So for instance, this rendering is right at the front library area in this clubhouse, and then same at the entries of our other buildings as well, as I showed the other concepts here too. Oh, and just to go back real quick, another great piece of this is having additional storage and an employee break room too. That's something that was really supported by our membership as well. It goes back to the membership really supporting the staff. All right, fitness center and Splash Cafe. I talked about how that's a 3-month operation out of the year currently. The goal is to make that a year-round, ultra-casual spot. Kind of counter service. I kind of envision like a Panera Bread kind of style. Low lift when it comes to staffing, but high impact, quick. Again, ultra casual, very comfortable. When it comes to that dining experience, you can see the kind of the outside of the Splash Cafe here. And again, these are all conceptuals right now, so we'll dig more into the schematic design as we go into that phase. But this is what we're envisioning right now. And then the fitness center right here, gosh, how beautiful and light that is. It's spacious. Did I say spacious? That's really the goal with the fitness center, giving that additional space that it deserves, having the additional breakout rooms, and giving it that face that it really deserves. Lifting the ceilings is currently in the conceptuals right now. Again, to just give you that nice feeling in there. Again, Michelle does a great job in there, but she's doing such a great job, we need more space in there. So that's really exciting as well. And then last but not least, Pete's Grill at the Golf Clubhouse. The conceptual rendering showing the new covered dining patio. Currently, that conceptual does show an outdoor bar. That would also be an indoor bar. The main goal, too, expanding that patio. You come out here on a nice day, which there's plenty of them in the Lowcountry. That patio is rocking. Everybody's having a great time out there. And then you throw in a hole-in-one on top of that, too, and it's just, this place is on steroids. It's awesome out there. So really advancing and furthering the patio out there, giving it the feel that it deserves, and then continuing to look at how we can enhance more of the inside as well. So incorporating that current architectural. So that's a little bit about those different master managed plans. If you have any specific questions about that, in your packets, you do have the long-range planning committee master managed plan conceptuals in there. So you have all the renderings that are in there. It speaks a little bit more in depth about them. It even speaks to some of the rough order magnitude costs that are in there as well. So exciting there. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to Christy or myself. Again, really exciting time at Hampton Hall Club. I think I have expired in everything that I can say, and I'm going to turn this over to the real experts here. Our director of golf, Brent, if we can give him a nice warm round of applause.
Well done, Eric. If you guys ever have questions about Hampton Hall, I'd call Eric and use him as a resource. He's a wonderful fella. He's a breath of fresh air for us here as a relatively new general manager. If it's okay to share, our first staff meeting that we ever had together, the whole meeting we said, and what he asked us to do was talk about what we appreciated about one of the other managers that was in the room. And we did that for our whole meeting, and that was awesome. And that was different, and I loved it. And it's just nice to have a new face. It's more fun to talk to Christy, frankly, but use both of these folks as a resource if you just want to call them. Christy always says, Brent, will you come over for the breakfast? And it's, only if the eggs are included, so I got that taken care of. And I was trying to think of the right thing to describe Hampton Hall Golf as, and when Christy said this was coming up, that evening, I'm just telling you how this happens. That evening, we went up to set up the range, and the sun was kind of setting, and I always like to go up there with my little speaker, and David Lee Roth provided me the very quote needed for this breakfast. As I'm looking at the facility, the golf course, the buildings, the beautifulness of this place, David Lee Roth said to me, playing in my ear, "This must be just like living in paradise." So I would just leave you with your first ever realtor, David Lee Roth quote. So yeah, we are private. It is a Pete Dye signature golf course. For many of you in the room, you'll go like this, like, wow, Pete Dye, that's fantastic. And many of you may not have heard of that name. I went to Google it just to see. I was like, do people think he's in the top 10 golf course designers of all time? Is that something that he would be in? And he's like number 1 or 2 and 3 on most of those lists. He really is, and he designed this golf course. So. Big feather in the cap there. I love our practice facilities. Eric talked a lot about the staff. All these places you guys go to probably have great buildings that are just like this and wonderful amenities. And Eric kind of touched on the difference maker for us is the experience that the members are having, and that comes through the staff. We're blessed with some great folks over there. Chris has been there for a long time. Many of you probably know Chris. Westine, and then we're also glad to have Shelley Woolner over there. She's a wonderful asset to us for teaching. It's nice to offer a female instructor over there, so we're very pleased with our staff. Our men's and ladies golf societies, those are really the key to getting our members plugged in. They're very intentional about when somebody's new to get them plugged into the group, and how it works is they play it once a week, for sure, as an organized group, and they're going to put you with those groups. You're going to play with 3 other people. You're probably going to like at least one of them. And then usually how that works is, hey, what are you doing Thursday? And then they come back, and then it's so fun for me to watch. Once they kind of get into that flow, you just lose them. They're just whisked away into the sea of happiness. So that is great. Year-round member events, that's the huge calendar for us. Private summer reciprocal program is what we're part of. There's interclub that you can play. I love our PGA Junior League team. It is my joy of the year is to be a part of that team. You can have your own cart at our at Hampton Hall. It just has to look like the same as the fleet cars that we have, but you can have your own cart at Hampton Hall. And you can walk. People don't care around here what you shoot, they just care how fast you play. And so everybody that's playing today is trying to make it around in 4 hours. If you're in that category of a golfer that can play in 4 hours or less, you're a hit. And if not, you'll learn how to be in that category. But our director of golf maintenance and agronomy is Matt Spochak. Matt was here when they were building it. And I was extremely surprised by this. Before Pete died as the golf course designer, he passed away in the past couple of years, but one of the times that Pete came to visit, I happened to be with Matt in the parking lot, and Matt was shoulder to shoulder with this guy when they were on bulldozers making the place or whatever, and I just was surprised at the affection that Pete showed Matt when he arrived. I was there with him in the parking lot. I was like, wow, nobody talks to Matt that way. Because he's a great grower of grass. I don't know that I've met many more, but he's a little person. Just that spoke volumes to me. I mean, the guy that is still here taking care of this course was part of the original concept. The guy knows where every sprinkler head is and that kind of thing. And just if you guys are friends with Matt, just please say that I told you he was friendly as well. So the only other slide for me to cover is, kind of a big hit for us. We did a golf course restoration project year before last. We were closed for 6 months. The project had 3 objectives. One was new greens, and they're fantastic. 2 was they restored the bunkers back to what their original state was for y'all that are golfers. Just like some things that you recognize, bunkers are prone to sagging a little bit. So they came in and restored those, and they are fantastic. So fantastic greens, fantastic bunkers. 10 to 1, the best thing about the project was they did a drainage piece of the golf course. And if you would have told me before we started that the drainage would be as improved as it is, I would not have believed you. Our drainage was not bad. But like yesterday's, this is so good. Yesterday's rain, before the project, the rain we received yesterday, it probably would have made it where it's cart path only. Are you guys, is that a term you're familiar with? Where you have to keep your cart in the path, and it makes me extremely unpopular that day. Cart path only. So we probably would have been on cart path only for at least another day or 2, maybe 3. Today we are not cart path only. So the golfers, after yesterday's rain, because of this improved drainage, can go right to where their ball is. And let me tell you, members love that. And so that is really when people say, hey, did you talk about the project where you improved that? Did you get new greens? Yeah. Was he excited about that? Yeah. Bunkers? Yeah. The drainage thing, that is an unbelievable win for this place. And I'll just leave you with that. Eric was talking about this got improved, and this got improved, and this got improved, and this got improved, and the golf course got improved. When I think of Hampton Hall right now, I just think of constantly improving. I should be inspired by that, I guess, but I think of that. I think of this place as just kind of being in constant improvement. So I'll just leave you with that as a word. And I'll give you to Christy Stewart. Thanks.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Christy Stewart. I'm the Membership Marketing and Communications Director here at Hampton Hall. I've had the privilege of working with Hampton Hall and working with all of you for almost 8 years now. So thank you for what you do, and thank you for being here. I'm just going to go through our dues and fees schedule a little bit this morning. Certainly, again, it was touched on, but one of the benefits of Hampton Hall is our dues and fee structure. We are a little bit unique in the fact that we're golf optional. So the way Hampton Hall is set up is all property owners are automatically social members. And so when our new owners close on a property, the one-time social membership fee of $28,000 is due, along with a one-time capital contribution of $1,493. I'm going to quote something I heard at another realtor presentation a few years ago regarding membership fees. So membership fees are a benefit, not a barrier. That always stuck with me. Certainly, the big benefit of that is those membership fees go right into the community's capital and reserve accounts. And so, as Eric and Brent also touched on, we're always planning and preparing for the future, so we can always maintain and improve the community. For those social membership dues, again, as property owners, everyone is responsible for the social dues. That's going to include access to all of the social amenities, but it also includes the homeowners association. So those social dues are taking care of things like common area landscaping, the streets, the lagoons, attendance at the front gate, all of those items that are part of the HOA. So those are, really the basic obligation for all of our property owners. We do have the cottages and the carriage homes. So those property owners, they do pay the additional monthly maintenance fees. So that's going to help take care of the basic exterior maintenance, landscaping for those properties. And then for golf membership, so again, golf membership is optional. Our golf members as property owners, for the full golf membership, the one-time membership fee is currently $20,000, and then monthly membership dues are $629. Golf membership, and as well as actually all of our membership categories, are going to include the member, their spouse, and dependent children under age 23. So that would be who is included on the membership. Adult children, anyone outside of those parameters would be considered guests of the member. We also have a limited number of non-property owner golf memberships. So this question comes up quite a bit. Certainly that is a popular option for residents of Hampton Lake. Our members coming from Hampton Lake, they can come through the back gate and be on the first tee in about 10 minutes. We are limited in that category. We have reached our capacity for the non-property owner membership, so we simply have a wait list for that category. We've been in that situation for a little over a year now, so based on our history, members typically are activated from the wait list. It's been anywhere from 2 to 6 months. So if you have clients that are outside of Hampton Hall but really desire to be golf members here, they can apply for membership. We add them to the wait list, and then as we have normal attrition, we're able to activate those new members. We also have our young professional membership program for golfers under age 40. That we have a breakdown for dues and fees for both property owners and non-property owners. We do not have a cap on the category for young professionals for outside of Hampton Hall. Again, we're really just trying to grow the membership, or continue to invite people to play the game of golf and welcome our potential future members of the club. Only other expenses to consider really with golf membership, aside from incidentals, would be the carts. So members can pay individual cart fees as they go. As Brent mentioned, we are a golf cart friendly community, so very popular. Our members own their own golf carts. They can then register for the trail fee. And then for those members that want an unlimited cart plan but don't have their own each time they play, opposed to paying the individual card fees. All right, so just some other helpful information from a membership standpoint. We have a new web page that is especially for real estate agents. So there's a QR code on each of the tables, but very, very basic website. So definitely bookmark that information. Please don't necessarily share the whole web page with your clients. It's really intended for you to be able to go there and get the most up-to-date dues and fees schedule, membership guide, contact information. I've tried to put as much helpful information on there so you can access it, very easily at any time. Tours. So we schedule discovery tours for your clients. Typically I schedule those Tuesdays through Fridays. I try to avoid Mondays if possible, just because the golf course is closed, our food and beverage operations are closed, so we really want our prospects to experience what the club is like on a regular day where there are members here enjoying themselves. So we try to schedule those Tuesdays through Fridays, like block out the time at 11 o'clock. So then we'll take a couple of golf carts, they'll have a chance to see the practice facilities, a few holes of the golf course, we walk through all of the amenities. It's a great chance for them to also, of course, ask questions and really get a feel for the lifestyle of the community. Also with closings, as you have clients that are closing on properties here in Hampton, please encourage them to contact me prior to closing, look for emails from me. Once I receive the request for closing information from our accounting office, those future members are going to automatically receive emails from me 2 weeks and then another week prior to their closing with some helpful information regarding new member documents or governing documents, how to schedule their orientation, registering their vehicles, moving trucks, all of those questions that they typically have up front. And then contact. So I've got my contact information included, but also I want to introduce everyone to Ann Jackson. She is in the back of the room here. She is our member services coordinator. We've been lucky to have Ann on staff going almost a year, not quite a year, but she works with all of our new members. She provides their new member orientations, so she's the contact to schedule those. Our membership team is the two of us, so I couldn't do it without Ann, so very happy to have her on board. All right, another question that typically comes up just regarding our Carriage Home Association. So the Carriage Home owners, they do have their own association and property manager. So Stacy Jacobs, she is the current property manager, so any questions related to the Carriage Homes, what's included in the maintenance fees, and how that whole process works, Stacy would be your best contact. All right, other questions that come up quite often regarding rentals. So according to Hampton Hall's governing documents, property owners can lease their properties long-term, and we consider long-term 6 months or more. For those owners that do lease long-term, they have the option of designating their tenants with their membership privileges. So then their tenants, of course, can use the amenities for the duration of the lease. Short-term rentals are available at the cottages only. All of our cottages are privately owned, so Hampton Hall does not actually manage any of the rentals. But those owners are allowed to do so, and typically that's a question I get quite often is about the rentals. Most of those owners will list on VRBO, and we are also in the process of setting up a new website where we hope our owners will include their rental listings as well. Also with the cottages, so for those that are renting short-term, you do have to be a member to utilize the amenities here at Hampton Hall. So renting a cottage does not automatically mean you have access to the amenities, but those tenants do have the option of applying for what we call our Discover Club membership, and then that will allow them access to the social amenities while they lease the property. And also just have contact information here for you for our ARB and the HOA office. Again, those questions tend to come up quite a bit. We have Steve on staff, as well as Angie Nicolini is our HOA director. So definitely, they're a great resource if you have any questions. If anyone's possibly considering making a change to their property, or just any of the general HOA rules for the community. All right, a little more exciting here. So we are in the process listings can be posted. So very excited here. You'll be able to actually just jump on the website and you're able to add your real estate listings that are, of course, here in Hampton Hall. We are working with a company. It's called Profile Your City Club Properties. Jeff Buck is the primary contact. They provide all of the tech support as well, so if you have any questions or need assistance in adding your listing information, he's a phone call or an email away and happy to help with that. We do have this. We've just added it. It is live on our website now, so if you go to the regular Hampton Hall website and go to the real estate section, there's a link now for listings, so you'll see that live on the website. All right, so now I'm going to turn it over to Mitch and Lee.
Good morning, good morning. Round of applause, first of all, for everyone here at Hampton Hall, the team, the staff, the food. Thank you so much for having us.
For those of you who are not familiar with the two of us, Mitch Burns from Mingle Volkers, Liam Connin. Again, I want to backpack what Liam had to share there. This is an excellent event. When they told us there was going to be 120 agents here, there really is 120, give or take. So really appreciate everyone's attendance in this. But one thing that they wanted to ask us to have some input on when you take a look at Hampton Hall is to put on our agent hat. And what we are going to believe to be really important for your clients when they're taking a look in Hampton Hall. So we've got 10 bullet points we're going to go through. We definitely, as we see kind of everyone throughout here, we see residents, we see a lot of people who are very experienced, we see some people who maybe have never been in the community before at all. So please provide some input. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear if you think what we have to share is horrible or if you, what do you want to add on to it as well. So a few things about Hampton Hall as far as selling tips would have to be the location of it all. It's 40 minutes to the Savannah Airport, 5 minutes to Old Town Bluffton. It's very close proximity to both public and private schools. And one of the amazing features is direct access to the Parkway. So it gets you right onto the island in about 10 to 12 minutes, as you guys are probably familiar with. And as Bluffton continues to expand out towards the riverside, one of the back gates, which we'll touch on here in a little bit, is also a wonderful entrance and exit point.
So speaking of exits and entrances, I don't need a show of hands, but how many people had to ignore their GPS to get here today? They often take it to the back gates there. I'm not going to call you out. But there is 3 gates there. 2 of them, of course, are for the owners only, and then the front gate, which is 24-hour manned. Another amazing thing about Hampton Hall, especially for those who do show in a lot of the different communities around the area, Belford, Berkeley, Colleton, everything like that, is it's an amazing value. I think that everyone in here would agree with that sentiment. It has a really nice option where there's no minimal, you don't have to join the golf, and honestly, the amenities are super world-class when you take a look at it. One thing I want to hint on that Eric shared is also the demographic base. The newer members are becoming a little bit younger, which is very attractive to a lot of the folks who are looking from outside of the area. So it's a really important feature to consider when you are looking at Hampton Hall and maybe comparing it to some of the other clubs in the area. So what you see is what you get. The Hampton Hall, which is very nice. They're obviously not going to expand anymore. There's a very limited amount of lots remaining. So what you see truly here at Hampton Hall is what you get, which is a great feature when you are trying to explain to a client or a buyer about what to expect as far as growth in the community. It's an owner-controlled board. As we kind of see this taking place on some of the communities around here. What you see is, as Liam mentioned, is what you get. So it is completely delegated and controlled within the gates. So I think that's a really important feature. There's no outside input. They really are receptive to what a lot of residents have to say when it comes to making strategic plans, whether it's to the amenities, whether it's to the staff, whether it's to anybody in here. So I think that's an awesome testament to Hampton Hall and everything that they do. So just tying back in, of course, the healthy and vibrant club. The club consistently runs at a surplus, which is unusual for a private club. Eric was able to speak on that a little bit too. Very unique situation here for Hampton Hall. This one I think is a really important one when you take a look at Hampton Hall as a whole. There is a lot of flexible housing options. And one thing I think that's really unique again about the community is when you take it down to folks who are maybe the first time here, or they've been here 3 or 4 times visiting, it's a hard decision for them to make a buying process. There's no timeline, right? If you buy a lot, you want to dip your toe in the water, that's certainly an option. So you can say, hey, listen, you can enjoy all the amenities, even if you buy a lot, you don't have to go vertical immediately. And at the same point in time,
That goes all the way up to the cottages, which are going to range anywhere right now between $500,000 and $650,000. As Christy had mentioned, those do have an option for a short-term rental if the owner was to decide to. And you can go all the way up to estate-size properties that are $1.8 million, $1.9 million. So when you are bringing your clients through the community, one thing that we always talk about is there is a lot of flexibility. It's not like the price point or the floor is $1.3 million to get into it. There's a lot of different options to dip your toe in the water here for Hampton Hall.
Active and engaging memberships, Mitch kind of mentioned a little bit. I think we can all notice trending over the past 5 or 6 years, the demographic around gated communities kind of becoming lower and lower, which is, nice to see some younger buyers floating here to the Hilton Head, Bluffton area. But obviously, we've heard a lot about the golf, we've heard a lot about the other amenities, the pools, their expansion plan for their amenity center. So it's just a thriving community, aging a little bit younger for that demographic, which is always nice to see that there's some young money, still circulating here in the county.
Again, to hit on what Liam just shared.
I stole your thing.
Yeah, that's all right. It's a diversified age group, so I know a lot of folks in here who have children, whether they're agents or clients of ours throughout the past, but they do a great job with the social events. They're really doing a wonderful job of bringing people together, and I like the word that Eric uses, sticky. Whenever you're buying in a lifestyle community like something like this, you want to be able to know your neighbors, enjoy hanging out with them, and doing other things than just golf. And I think they're really engaging about giving back with Church and Tribe and doing all these different separate events, which is not going to be just golf-driven, pickleball-driven, or anything like that.
So obviously buying with confidence, not only is Bluffton, a strong real estate market. Hampton Hall is a very strong real estate market too. I think there's a healthy amount of inventory consistently kind of year-round through Hampton Hall. Obviously we have our peak seasons, but consistently, Hampton Hall has a great amount of inventory. And not just inventory related, but there are, tips and caps for streets and everything like that. If Ken Krupa's here, for whatever reason, he'll tell you that Shelburne is the best street in here. We all have kind of a list of favorite streets, but what's unique about Hampton Hall is, it's not just kind of one area, it's a whole community. That every little section and street offers something different.
And to backpack on Liam with the confidence buying, especially when you're educating your clients in this market, is when they're doing all these improvements, everyone always thinks, what's it going to cost your client, what's it going to cost the resident? Huge factor for Hampton Hall is there is no active assessments. I know a lot across the board with different communities, you're seeing these transfer fees continue to increase, but the reality is when you really look at the gray area for some of the other communities, there's a 5-year or 7-year or 10-year assessment tied to that very expensive transfer fee. So they just do a wonderful job, healthy reserve, very strong budget, and no assessment, which is really amazing when you're trying to educate your client and bringing them through here. And then last but not least, I can't thank Christy and Eric and everyone here at the staff. They just are a great resource. One thing that I always joke around with is don't try to be the expert if you're not the expert. Right? These people live behind the gates. They want to help you. They want to sell the community for you. So don't be afraid to set up one of those tours with them. I know Ann's done a great job for some of my clients who've come through the last couple months, but utilize them. I mean, again, you can come in here and act like you know everything, but you're not here every day like they are. So do take advantage of them. They'll set them up very well. They do a great tour. They do lunch. They take them through a couple of holes of the golf course. And it really makes them more comfortable, and it makes you look like an expert as well, giving them that education. So it's a great resource, and don't be afraid to take advantage of that new listing input on their website and everything along those lines.
All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed learning everything about the Hampton Hall Club and hearing kind of the current state of affairs here. And of course, if I can help you find your low country lifestyle, give me a call, send me an email, shoot me a text, or you can even book a Zoom call. All in the description below. And if you want to stay up to date with the latest and greatest happening here, be sure and like, subscribe, and tap that bell for notifications so you'll know every time I drop a new video. It's been an absolute pleasure spending time with you today, and I hope to meet you in person at some point.